What if sanctuary wasn't just a place, but a way of living? Welcome to the Sanctuary Network, your weekly home for conversations that awaken the heart, heal the body, and inspire the spirit. I'm your host, Mary Ellen Popyk, the creator of Spirit Fest and the Natural Wellness Expos. For 2 decades, I've been creating spaces, now creating a bold new broadcast for mind, body, and spirit, where seekers, healers, and teachers come together to share wisdom, laughter, and transformation. We've seen what happens when communities gather. People become enlivened. Now, through the Sanctuary Network, that same spirit is reaching you, wherever you are in the world. Each week, we'll sit down with thought leaders, authors, and everyday visionaries. We'll also shine a light on the grassroots voices of the sanctuary marketplace, the healers, vendors, and practitioners who make this movement thrive. This isn't just another show, it's your sanctuary, a space to pause, reflect, and reconnect with what matters most. So, take a deep breath, open your heart, and join me. Together, let's step into the sanctuary. Welcome, everyone, to the Sanctuary for Mind, Body, and Spirit. Today's podcast is a topic that I am extremely passionate about, as I know many of you are as well. We're talking about animals with a very seasoned and very good professional animal communicator, and I know we've got a lot of really fun things to talk about. So, Nicole, Harp, thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Let me give everyone a proper introduction to Nicole. She's an author, award-winning artist, professional interspecies animal communicator who has been featured on numerous metaphysical podcasts and regularly teaches soul painting classes at the Edgar Cayce Center for Enlightenment, where she guides participants beyond the analytical mind and into creative, heart-centered expression. She also offers animal communication mentorship programs, supporting others in developing their intuitive abilities and deepening their connection with animals. She's the author of Colors of Consciousness, 25 Soul Paintings, a collection exploring the intersection of art, energy, and spiritual awareness. And she is coming to us from Norfolk, Virginia today. So welcome, Nicole. Again, thank you. You were at our Spirit Fest in Virginia Beach.
Yep, this year and the year before. Yes.
Were you at our DC show too? I want to say.
No, I don't. I don't
No.
really do the circuit, but
Okay,
AR
noted.
yeah, I do some at the ARE, but no, I love your festival because it's just totally different group of people, different energy. But yeah, it was back to back awesome.
We've already got our date set for next year. I think it's going to be, just a week later. It's going to be mid-October next year. So
Anytime's good.
But we love coming to Virginia Beach. The energy there is also really special. We could say that about every place we go, but it really is unique. And we're doing a lot more with the Edgar Cayce people too. I think that is some of the best, highest level information out there, especially because his readings were unadulterated. In other words, it was before the internet and everything. So, but as I was reading your biography, I was kind of thinking about what some of the similarities are between your creative work with art and your communication with the animals. Do you think that you're using a similar talent or communication style when you're doing that? This was just totally off the cuff.
Well, it's funny that that's off the cuff because I was thinking while you were reading, immediately what came to mind is how animal communication and the act of creating, they're both innate to us. We come in the world being able to do it. Both we kind of like lose somewhere down the line, right? So animal communication, you come in being able to communicate, or we're nonverbal, and then unless you have, and then the verbal starts, the words start to take over, and then the telepathic starts to fall away unless you have a family that really nurtures and cultivates that, right?
Right.
Same thing, creativity. We're creating like bada bing, bada bing, bada boom. As kids, we're just doing it all the time. We don't think twice about it. And then somewhere that falls away, right?
Right.
And creativity doesn't have to mean, as you know, visual arts, performing arts, all that. I mean, you can be creative. I have a friend that was a art major who turned lawyer, who used all her creative problem solving to uncover the egg price fixing industry, with the grocery stores and the Tennessee walking horses, the high stepping. So she like broke all that stuff, but through creative backdoor ways of thinking. So we're always creating, we're always making, and animals are always communicating telepathically because they need to thrive and survive. So they've never forgotten. They don't. No one ever told them they couldn't. They've not forgotten that they can't, so
Right.
it's just remembering, but those two things bring us back to that. And both of them really help us with understanding ourselves and the collective, and they're both healing. My spouse and I are walking today and we're like, why is everything about healing? Why do we need so much healing? And it seems like it just, but that's probably a separate podcast. But both of those do it, Marion. They both help us bring us back to ourselves. And if you're looking at our animals, really, there's so much they do, and we can talk about that. But the art too, just so much presence, so much healing, so much bringing everything inside, outside, right?
Right.
Because getting it out of our heads and into our heart,
Right.
and
And
that's
that's the
what
and
it's
that's
about.
the thing about how, and that was what we called our show today, about how they influence our life, how they teach us. So let's start at the beginning. Talk to us about animal communication, what it is and what it isn't.
Um, so it's not someone behaviorist, an animal behaviorist, like reading your animal's body language, or it's telepathic communication. So it's across distances, it's tele meaning communication, and pathy, or the other way around. But it's a nonverbal communication across any distance. Um, and once you've communicated, there's no longer the distance. So if I'm communicating with your animal there, it doesn't
Hmm.
matter where you live. Once we're communicating, they're right here, right now.
Hmm.
So there's no
Hmm.
yeah, I might have to do that too later. But there's
Okay.
no yeah, I love
I've got a
doing
few in the room, so.
I know, and I love doing I call them rapid fire communications, but
Mhm.
um, one of them wants to kind of, you've never had an animal communication.
No, uh-uh.
I know, and that one over there, I'm not sure which one, but yeah, it's funny that I'm kind of going off but it's funny how and I'll go back to what it is and what it isn't, but well, that's what it is. But some, like the one, and I feel it's a dog, but he's a little shy, and they're like, "What is this?" Like I'm trying to kind of feel in their energy, the one
Hmm.
that's lying down there, and I don't know. It's as I speak about that one, because I'm honestly that one's not giving me much about whether it's a cat or a dog, and
There's
uh,
literally two within 10
yeah.
inches of a foot. Yeah.
So
The
which one?
cat's right here and the dog's
What?
behind me.
Oh, okay. Well, then they very much share energy, and they're both seem kind of. So, what's the one? So, I think it's the one to the right's a dog. Is that which one's lighter with maybe a little bit of brown or a lighter
The
fur?
dog is a blonde and
Uh,
corgi.
yeah,
Yeah.
okay. That's the one. It's funny though, they play off each other so well. But my point is that they were both like, we've never had this before. We're a little cautious. Who are you? Just because they're not used to it. But once, I start to, let them know that I'm here, I'm always here to bring peace and harmony, and just to really just be an open, hollow bone vessel to hear what they want to share. And it's a
Hmm.
communication. It's not a reading. Back to your question. It's not me
Hmm.
reading them.
Hmm.
It's a back and forth, and it's any question goes. It's interesting because do our animals, because I don't call them pets, but because it's free will, right? Animal sentient beings capable of free will, consciousness, likes, dislikes, opinions, and we don't own them. We're their guardians, lucky enough to be their guardians, but like I said, across distances. So once we connect, there is no longer that distance, and it's instantaneous. And we can be your animal can be connecting with 2,000 people at one time. It's time
Hmm.
space continuum. There's no lag in that, right? You can
Right.
ask one question or 20,000 questions to say one of my animals here in the room or yours, and they can just be sending back. I mean, it's just they're really good at that. They didn't,
Hmm.
they've never, like I said, they never were told they couldn't anymore. So.
How does it, help with people's relationships with their animals?
Oh my God. Well, so since animals choose, well, okay, let's go back even further. So, you you attracted a particular animal into your life because both of you have similar gifts um,
Mm.
to offer and emotion and wounds to heal. So, you signed up together, you agreed before you came in here with a soul's contract, and because animals, and forever, however long or short the animals in your life, just like people.
Maybe give us some examples of like really profound things that have come through in the readings.
Um,
So the question was, how does it help with the relationships or how does it make a difference? But
thank
maybe
you. Yeah.
giving some examples.
Well, let me just get back to I'm sorry, I had a brain fart. I've done that twice maybe it's like what the malfunction with the software when we came on. But so, uh, animals really help us understand what it means to be human, to be ourselves. Since their behavior models, mirrors, and inspires, they're always reflecting back to us, ourselves.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
so in animal consciousness, there's no good and bad. There's no
Right.
cause and effect. They're in spiritual consciousness.
Hmm.
And so there's no good and bad and cause and effect. It's everything is, what we're supposed to understand and see about ourselves. And I will say this too, people, this whole thing about whether animal communication is real or not real, since animals are the force of love and love happens in spiritual consciousness. There's
Hmm.
no way, if you know your animal loves you and you love them, there's no way you can't not believe in that they're sentient and
Right.
conscious, have consciousness, because
Right.
that love is created in your consciousness.
Right.
Conscious, I'm conscious, they're conscious. There's no way that you couldn't believe that
Right.
if you unless you believed in love.
Hmm.
And so I just think that's a good way for anyone who's like, oh, I'm on the fence about animal communication. Well, the love that you have for your animal exists in spiritual consciousness, so they have consciousness and they have sentience.
Right.
So I just think that it's a kind of a no-brainer there, that form and formless energy exists, right? Exists in the form and the formless. So on the other side, there's still love and consciousness, and here they are. So
Right.
I just, yeah.
So what
If I
kind of messages do you get from them?
um well, I mean, for clients
Or
or for
or
myself,
information? Well,
anything
both.
goes.
When you're reading a pet, what's typical and then what's like just something really cool
Well,
that may have
here's
happened.
here's the deal. I'm not reading, I'm communicating, and it's um whatever they want to share. And it's just like a soul painting. I cannot determine the soul painting ahead of time.
Uh-huh.
I'll hold that question, and then this goes right along with it. I will connect with that energy to complete the soul painting, or to paint the soul painting first. I start with the drawing, then the colors are given to me, and then I work out the painting. Um, I have no idea what the final is going to be until I'm done.
Wow.
And the
Mhm.
same thing, I can't go in knowing. I bring presents, right? A hollow bone. My goal is to listen and receive at the most pure way possible without
Mhm.
judgment, opinion. And I just, connect with them, and whatever, the client always has, first of all, the animals know what you want to ask ahead of time. And they know
Mhm.
your intentions. They may not know exactly what you're thinking, Mary Ellen, but they know your intentions. That's why
Mhm.
it's important to follow through with what you say you're going to do,
Mhm.
because they know your intentions. And they'll know that, oh, you're a well-intentioned person because you do follow through with what you say. So to
Mhm.
your question, anything goes, and it's always kind of based on the client, like what rarely have I had someone come and say, just tell me anything I have. There's no issues. I just want to get to know my animal better. Some, yeah, but because it's spiritual, emotional, and physical,
Mhm.
you talk about Edgar Casey, and energy is life, right? Mind's the builder, and body's the result. So people always come when it
Mhm.
gets down to the physical, right? When I can't ignore it anymore, I
Mhm.
have to come because my animal's doing this, right? And
Right.
so we always cover that first, but really what's beautiful is the animals already answer you in a way that they know what you're saying. And so it may not be exactly, and that's where I come in, the way you want to hear it, because I
Mhm.
think I know they figured this out, Mary Ellen. They already know how to do this. They don't go to war.
Mhm.
They You think about your animals, your cat and your dog behind you. They're two different crazy diverse personalities, even though they have some things that parallel over, right? That they have a really unique, sarcastic, funny relationship with each other.
Hmm.
They just
Hmm.
do. They just do. Yeah, and then it's so funny. They kind of like talk about you to each other, and then they have their individual thing with you. But but they're also unique and like they and diverse in their personalities and their messages and what they want to share. But animals have figured it out. They know, they don't kill each other. Yes,
Right.
they have an under communication about food. That they're gonna eat, to keep the chain going, but they don't. If you think about it, such diverse personalities in a small house or whatever, or in a house, they still manage to get along pretty well.
Hmm.
So, they're just, it's really, that's kind of where I'm going is trying to figure out animal to animal. How do you do that? How do you, in the wild, in domestic, interactions, how do you get along so well, relatively close, quarters, and still, even though something may get on their nerves, because they do, you see it and then
Right.
they shake it off. But anyway, yeah, so you asked me about what's the crazy, I mean, anything goes. I'm always blown away and, surprised and the clients too, like, um, and here's the thing too, I want to say about remembering. I'm in presence when I'm doing it, and that's why we record
Hmm.
because I don't always remember, you know. I will
Yeah.
tell you, during the mentoring sessions, I have mentored someone and they just could not, they were, I was validating. I'm like, we've been mentoring for how long now? You got this. You're communicating. And it was the trust that the person needed to trust themselves, right? And no
Hmm.
matter what you say, I can tell you a million times, Mary Ellen, that you are an excellent psychic. Okay, I don't know if you are. You're a great psychic. You're, blah blah blah. And you could have 100 people, but until you believe it inside,
Right.
until it clicks for you, it does not matter what the world is saying, right? You're still
Right.
going to have those ebbs and flows. Well, this client, she was like, she was great, and I said, ask the animals. And she's like, I am. I'm going to ask them. She said, okay, if I'm connecting with you, she had these parakeets. She had like 24 parakeets. If I'm connecting with you, I want you to blink your eyes. Blink, blink, blink.
Wow.
Okay. And then they did it. Blink,
Wow.
blink, blink. And then she kept
Wow.
asking him for more proof and more proof. Finally, they said, forget it. Like
Yeah.
after six, like she kept, getting validated and validated. And it's like, when is enough is enough, at some point. But anyway, I thought that was funny because that they did the first thing, then they did the second thing.
Hmm.
But birds don't blink, they're not really just blinkers, like blink,
Right.
blink, 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 blink. Yeah. But I mean, I've had whatever the messages are, they're humorous, they're just like with the Animal Truth Oracle, Meg, their wisdom, they're insightful, they're mind-blowing, they're like quantum,
Yeah.
they can talk about other planets, they can talk about other lifetimes. It's
Wow.
whatever. It's across, I mean, I can't even,
Birds
it's
are
so
smart, and
exciting.
I think they're a very underrated pet. One of my first career jobs, I was an admin for the animal department at SeaWorld and got to be exposed to a lot of different animals. And the birds were a big part of that, the parrots, but it
Oh
was
yeah.
every kind of bird too.
Yeah.
And they're all different. But I realized they're as smart as dogs. Maybe in a different way, but they are definitely that smart and they're clever and they've got great memories and they live way longer than a lot of people think too.
Yes. You know what I think
Yeah.
is not clever is trying to rate their intelligence
Mm.
as far as human terms.
Hmm.
Or
Right.
why would not you, but why would we compare a bird to a dog's intelligence? Two
Right.
complete different ways that they interact and move and vibe in the world. Uh,
Right.
Tools are different. Intake and I mean, and internal, extra, all different. So you
Right.
know what I mean? It's like it's this another thing where like in spiritual consciousness, there's no hierarchy. An animal
Right.
reminded me the other day who had passed over, and they're like, you know what? It's so beautiful here because there's no hierarchy. We created that. Humans and our
Yeah.
ego create this idea of hierarchy. And if we can live like with this, idea here in the physical, that there isn't hierarchy, which we
Mhm.
all, that's not what the system, but we'd be a lot happier. We would, I mean, that's
Right.
how it really is, and that's spiritual consciousness. There's no
Yeah.
hierarchy.
It's really with the difference you were saying between dogs and cats. There's just not a comparable scale, but just like humans too. And then same with consciousness and on the other side.
Yeah.
It's it's a different form of communication. It's a different way of acting. It's a different way of being. It's a different way of communication, all of that together. And then all of the everything I think in the world is different. How trees communicate and plants, and again, we say that animals or that plants aren't sentient or aren't smart. They're pretty
Anything.
smart. I mean, when I have one too far from the window, they all lean.
Yeah.
Um,
And
that's a form of intelligence.
ask them next time. Is it okay if
Hmm.
I cut you? Is it okay if I trim you? I
Mm.
conducted experiments out front. I had all these when we first moved in, like sawgrass or oak grass, and I was like, I'm sorry, but it's not really working. You're overtaking everything, and you're not. It's just not working. We're gonna have to move you or take you out. I did the first one without talking to him. It took me an hour, 90 minutes. I did the others with thanking them and saying, okay, it's not going to work, but thank you so much for what whatever I said. I mean,
Hmm.
boom, boom, boom. They were all six of them out within 10 minutes. I'm not
Hmm.
kidding. They released their roots and they came. I ask flies to slow down so I can take them out. And you give
Uh-huh.
them choices. Please slow down or go to the door.
Right.
Or, if you continue, I'm going to have to spray you with some organic cleaner to slow you
Yeah.
down and get you out. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
but no, but there's everything that's living is sentient, period.
Hmm.
And and as far as intelligence, what does that I mean, what kind of what is intelligence,
Right.
That's what we're in our heads and we're not that's not important. We can
That's
read
exactly right. And
not
that's the
important.
language. Once
It's
we
not
can get
important.
outside of thinking in those analytical terms and
Yeah.
again applying the feelings
Yeah.
and the creative thought to that. But I have a very strong, I love animals and I do really try to be intuitive with every animal that I meet, not just my own, but same with the plants. And I've got, a new communication with them too. But then insects. I raise monarch caterpillars. Like I help them, butterfly caterpillars to become monarchs, and then there are wasps and lizards that will come and eat them. And the wasps are terrible. I will just right in front of you. They'll just come down and just suck the life out of a caterpillar. And so I do
Yeah.
apologize, but I will kill them. I just said, but I cannot apologize. I would not normally kill a wasp, and I
Yeah.
don't like to do it, but
Yeah. And then there's a part of me that respects the wasp for just being who they are.
yeah.
I'm going to come down and if you don't want that caterpillar killed, you're going to have to cover it with something that I can't get to.
Yeah,
Do
and that's
you,
what I did. I kept one sort of like, cull plant out there. It was big. It was a big one. And then pretty much they could eat anything that was on it. And then I had the other cages, but we're about at the end of the season now. And
yeah.
a wasp got into the cage and I just said, sorry, Charlie.
Yeah.
So,
You
but
got
there
to
was
come
no
down
other
and
way to
say,
get him out too,
right. You can either say, you're right. And you give them choices like, look, you can't stay here. I
Hmm.
need you to go. There's other things you can eat. And right today, and however long I have these caterpillars, you can't eat them.
Yeah.
So you're going to need to go. And so you've got about, okay, 30 seconds here. And
You're
then
right.
or I'm going to have to get, and but when you give them choices, they make the choice. And then you can feel good too about like giving them an option.
Yeah.
But you know what? I love that you're saying that about insects because you're so right. Reptiles and insects, they're so misunderstood. I can't tell you how many snakes I've talked to. They're like, "What?
Mm.
Why do people not like, like they don't get it why people don't like them so much?" I'm like, "Because people don't understand you." They're
Yeah.
like too afraid. Like, oh, they're like speak specifically or in general. They're so afraid of me. And one of my
Mm.
decks coming up is going to be reptiles and insects.
Wow.
And the next one, I'm doing with Earthfire Institute. We'll talk about my deck later, but the other
Good.
one after that is birds. And
Oh, good. Yeah.
individual, like, each individual type, we're doing south, whatever,
Uh-huh.
east, middle, whatever we're going to name it, midway down on the East Coast. But just how unique you cannot classify um, every bluebird so unique. Yes, they have similar colorings in that, but so unique in their
Mhm.
personality, in their
Yeah.
perspective, and animals' profound truths. To me, that's what started the Oracle deck is they have this unique way of seeing the world as
Mhm.
physical beings living, divine beings living a physical existence, and
Mhm.
unique that is profound and unique to them. And each
Right.
one is so different, right? So
Right.
different. Yeah.
Right.
And
We've got just a few minutes till break, and when we come back, I do want to talk more about communicating with your animals. Can anybody do it? More about that. And then I do want to hear more about your deck too. But tell
okay.
people how they can find out more information about you.
Well, I'm on obviously online, technology, but harpspace.org. So like Headspace, but Harp, my last name,
Sure.
harpspace.org. I am on Substack and Instagram, all Harpspace and Facebook.
Mhm.
You gotta pick the social platforms that you can do. I got my three that I'm on, three or four,
You're on
that
YouTube too, aren't
I
you?
am, but yeah, I am. Yeah, I don't,
Okay.
yeah. Please follow my YouTube. I only have maybe a 50 or 100 follow. Please follow me on YouTube. Yeah, and
Well,
it's space
we'll work
animal.
on that.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks.
Okay, and then for us, we've got a Natural Wellness Expo coming up in St. Pete next weekend. It's naturalwellnessexpo.com. And as always, Spirit Fest, our next Spirit Fest is now the first week in October. So we're gearing up. So that's what we're doing behind the scenes is we're planning our schedule for next year. So
Right.
anything that is planned for next year is already on the website. That's for sure. So you can always check back. It's fun to see what's going to be coming up. So everybody stick around and we're going to talk more about animal communication and communicating with maybe your animals.
Hello, friends. My name is David Trotter. I'm the founder and publisher of Awakened Magazine, and we are deeply honored to collaborate with Mary Ellen Popyk, the Sanctuary Network, and Spirit Fest Expos. At Awakened Magazine, we are dedicated to amplifying the voices of conscious leaders, healers, and coaches as we all help awaken our world to love. We do that through our digital magazine. We release several interviews and numerous articles every single week at awakenedmagazine.com. We have a print magazine that comes out several times a year. We have a co-authored book series called Awakened Hearts that we've had multiple bestsellers and incredible authors joining us. And of course, we have our own expo right here in Southern California every year. Hey, if you haven't already checked it out, I encourage you to watch the interview that I did with Mary Ellen Popyk. You can find it at awakenedmagazine.com. Just search Mary Ellen. It'll pop right up. You will love getting to know her and her backstory. And if you haven't already, get a free subscription to Awakened Magazine. You can find that at awakenedmagazine.com.
Florida has a great new option for healthy living. Our natural health expos were a hit last year, so 2026 brings more events around Florida. This special event offers health and wellness opportunities for people and pets. High quality experts in well-being, healing, anti-aging, and natural living. Plus, you'll find speakers, demonstrations, and much more. All details, lists of locations, and discounted admission can be found at naturalwellnessexpo.com. Join us for Spirit Fest, coming soon to a city near you. Spirit Fest is a metaphysical, holistic, and crystal expo featuring an amazing array of vendors, speakers, authors, artists, crystals, healers, psychic readers, and more. Spirit Fest is your chance to explore and connect with others of like mind. Get all details, including our upcoming locations up and down the East Coast, also discounted admission, and more at spiritfestusa.com. Our next event is January 10th and 11th with special guests and special presentations, including psychic explorer, medium Mark Anthony, and also historical researcher, explorer, and author Jim Vieira. More details are coming to our website soon, and we look forward to seeing you at Spirit Fest in 2026. Welcome back to the Sanctuary for Mind, Body, and Spirit. We are discussing animal communication with a professional animal communicator, also a great artist, Nicole Harp. So, welcome back, everybody.
Yeah.
So, we were talking about the information that you get when you are communicating with an animal. What are some of the more common things they want their owners or their family to know?
Okay. Well, like there's all right, some general things. It's always It's always about your inner brilliance. I mean, like I'll try to go larger and then more specific, but so I had mentioned before about the behaviors they choose when they're when they're mirroring you, when they're modeling you. For example, like one of my dogs, she's always catching the sunbeams, and I always see her in the most comfortable places in between like outings and stuff, and I'm always or catching a sunbeam or just really watching nature, and I'm like, man, that is a great idea. And I'll go out and just sit with her and do what she's doing, that modeling behavior that we should be doing,
Mm-hmm.
or then mirroring. And I had said before, there's not good and bad. Like when I communicate with my animals, like normally communicate, like just call it communicating. It's not good and bad. If she does something, he, she, or the cat, I have 3 dogs and a cat. If I'm asking them to do something, I'm visualizing it and I'm speaking it what I want, not what I don't want. And what I do want, like not don't scratch the couch. I visualize what she can scratch the cat,
Mm-hmm.
or visualize what you want. And then when they do that request that you actually ask them to do, I say thank you. Okay, thank you so much for making that choice, because it's free will and there is a choice. When you go to walk your dog and they want to go right because they haven't smelt for whatever reason they want, and that's the most unattractive street where the cars are, and you want to go more peaceful, you give
Right.
them choices. You give them choices. We let Charlie
Mm-hmm.
decide his walk because that's for them, not for us. And he'll choose. I said, okay, you can choose that way once a week. And then he started making it every 5 days. And I said, 7 days a week makes. And so so he got 7 days. He can, and in 7 days, he can go that way. Or
Mm-hmm.
sometimes he'll do 6. And then other times he'll go to the left, which is for us more enjoyable. But we negotiated that with him. He still
Mm-hmm.
gets what he wants. If you give them choices, options, this or that, and then when they do it, you thank them. Or sometimes he'll want to, whatever. I need him to do something because we're on a time schedule or something. And I'll just say, come on, Charlie, blah, 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 whatever reason, but it's authentic. And
Mm-hmm.
then he does it. And I'm just so thankful and grateful. And I get something. Every time after that, he does something that I want because it's mutual respect
Mm-hmm.
that I need, or I
Mm-hmm.
give to him too
Mm-hmm.
when I don't need it, right? There's just
Mm-hmm.
that give and take. It can't be our way all the time, right?
Right.
They have their own sovereignty. They need their time to be alone. They need their time to play, in the order of which they need things, exercising cognitive quality, resources, and then affection. And we as humans kind of tend to do it the other way, don't we?
Mm-hmm.
More,
Yeah.
if something falls by the wayside, it's usually their walk, and it can't be, because
Yes.
we need to have because if not, our lives are messed up because they're
Yeah.
harassing us and
My dog will give me a prompt. He just sits next to my chair and goes, huh?
yeah,
When I have, and then it'll get stronger. He doesn't really bark, but if you're not really paying attention, you might miss it too.
yeah.
But I
Do you have,
know they're trying to communicate.
do you have a routine with your animals? Because they thrive on routines.
Yeah, yeah, more or less. In fact, we go to play the ball right after breakfast, but I'm noticing that now the are starting earlier and earlier in my breakfast because he knows it's coming. He's very smart. So
Yeah,
I have to remind him that I'll let him know when breakfast is over and then
yeah.
we'll negotiate.
And yeah, so do you shorten the time, or do you give him his full 10 minutes or
Oh, I'll
15?
give him the full time. And
Okay, yeah,
yesterday it rained all day, and I really was trying to. So finally, I just let him out so he could see what I meant.
yeah,
He did not want to be out in it, and that was very
yeah,
disappointing.
yeah,
But yeah, no, if I do need to miss one of our set activities, I do try to make it up somehow or do something.
yeah.
They need the stimulation,
They have
whether it's mental or physical, and
They have to.
um,
They have
yeah,
to. They have to be moving. I mean, that's what they do. We came in roaming, they roam. What's his name? Do you want me to communicate with him? And
Mr. Bingley, yes,
Mr. Bingley? That's
yeah,
funny. That's funny. He just showed me if he had to do you like to read a lot?
oh yeah.
Yeah, he shows me his glasses and he reads with you, and you got
Oh,
that
that's
name.
funny.
He likes his name. It's
Oh,
interesting.
good.
Still, I don't know if you ever told him where it came from. He would like to know.
No, it's
No,
a movie. Yeah.
he would like to know, yeah, because he did
Okay.
think it was from books.
Well, it is
He's
a book. It's a Pride and Prejudice. So it was a book and it is a
Oh,
movie.
yes. Okay. Yeah. So, yeah, he likes when you communicate with him. He's really smart. And I know you don't know how smart he is
Yeah.
because he just told me that, but I don't even, he's super smart.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not gonna, I'm just so anti-breed, but I know he's a breed and you got him from a breeder.
Hmm.
Yeah, he's okay with that. I mean, and it's just funny they have a kind of air about them breeds. They just do. But he's smart and he's
Hmm.
not jerky or any cocky, but he's got an air, because of the breeding. It's just like anything. But he does need more. Now he's about, I don't know, I'm caught between 4 or 6. And I'm caught because how old is he?
6.
Okay, I'm caught between 4 or 6 because it's what he feels like
Hmm.
versus how old he is. Because sometimes they'll
Hmm.
just show me, I'll just get the energy of what they feel like.
Hmm.
So he needs a lot more than you're giving him. And it
Hmm.
doesn't mean all the time,
Hmm.
but all those times that he's going early or doing what he needs a little bit extra that week.
Yeah,
So his stuff's like this. He's real in tune with his feelings.
very.
Okay, and it is dependent on your energy as well. Like
Hmm.
I just know right now you're not doing your kickboxing or your whatever as much whatever you do as
Uh-huh.
much as you should.
Yeah.
You're caught up in some other stuff, you're this and that,
It's
and
a
you
really busy time. Yes.
usually you're good about it or you
Mhm.
like I know I need to do this, but that is key for you. And so, even if you go out and do some exercise, whatever you do while you're playing ball with him, it's going to
Uh-huh.
help you. And he's always reminding you because you need to do it too. But
Yes.
but I just
Yes.
want to he wants me to be clear because I'm
Uh-huh.
not because I mushed it all you in with him.
Uh-huh.
He wants me to be clear, okay? Let me sharpen my pencil. Hold on. Put that behind in my ear. He needs a little extra right now, and he wants you to
Uh-huh.
tune into when he does need it because he will let you know.
Yeah, he
So
does.
it's not him being whatever. He just needs it. So if you
Yeah.
want to be more calm and, not feel like, oh, did I, because I feel like sometimes at the end of the day, you're like, did I do enough for them? Which I love that you feel that way, or
Yeah.
maybe I don't
Yeah.
know, but you want to be at the end of the day not asking yourself that. Do you know what I
Mm.
mean?
Hmm.
Yeah. So when he needs that little bit extra, just give it to him. And I mean, I don't know why so much right now, but it's just the energy of maybe your energy and his energy. It's just who he is. He just needs a
Hmm.
little bit right now. Yeah.
Yeah. Of
Yeah.
anything, even laying in my lap at night is mental stimulation for him. Just having that time. And it makes a big difference with him. But I found a really good dog sitter where he goes to their house and there's
Uh-huh.
other dogs there, but they love him, so he kind of gets maybe some special treatment. But they
Yeah.
play the ball for him all the time. That's all they do is,
Yeah.
and he loves it. But I know when I pick him up that he's really ready to come home.
Yeah.
So
He's really your dog. I mean,
yeah,
it's your life together. You signed on together and
yeah,
it's unfolding what it will be together. But um pretty soon I feel and I hope you will make some more time for him because you have so much to uncover together. Now, do you
yeah.
walk him?
I do. And we throw the ball in the yard, but I've noticed his nails are not getting ground because we're doing
Yeah.
that exercise in lieu of the daily or multiple times a day walking on the cement. So that I know I need to walk him more on the cement, but we do. He likes that the sniff around, and that seems to be important to dogs, the
Let me
sniffing.
the walk is the most important thing. The play
Mm.
is fine. The walk is actually for first and foremost, and the play
Mm.
second for him, and
Hmm.
that's what he needs because I'm just feeling it now. It calms him down. He can release through all his appendages. You can get his nails cut from the groomer or wherever. That's not the issue.
Yeah.
Sure, it wears them down, but it's all the other stuff. It's confidence building. And it's the confidence building that he needs. What's going on in my neighborhood? What's happening at this mailbox, at this? I can smell X amount of miles away. I need to know what's going on. And it makes him uncomfortable when he doesn't know what's going on. I know you know that. Like
Hmm.
you need to know what's happening next, right? And he needs
Yeah.
to know what's out there. And he comes back and reports it to your cat. What's your
That's
cat's name?
funny. I have three: Leota, Oliver, and Luna.
Oh my goodness. Okay. Well, that's going to take a minute to decipher the three of them, and I almost want to. Oliver's coming closer, but then Luna comes up there. But which one is black and almost Bengali? This is what they show me. They show me Layla in the deck here.
I
Leela.
have two that are gray and white tabbies that are almost identical, even though one's 9 years old and one's just 1 year old. But then
Okay.
the sister is more like a gray calico type.
Calico.
Yeah.
Calico. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Calico, the Calico one. That's the one that's okay. That's the one he shares with about the daily comings and goings and activities.
That's
Now,
funny.
they're indoor cats.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, because they don't now. Well, we could sit here and go on about but do you have a catio or something like that where they can go out?
The older cat can stay outside on the porch. We call that her office
Mhm.
because she just owns it there.
He
But the
surveys, surveys.
the
Hmm.
kittens, their brother and sister, and they just turned a year old. But when they were about 4 or 5 months old, a bird came down into the yard that scared one of them, and it scared me. And so they probably would be okay. But yes, we do go out so that they can run.
With you, with
Yes. Oh,
yes,
yes. Yeah. And
yeah,
the Luna, when she was spayed, got very heavy really quickly. So
yeah,
that's another way. The house is big enough for
yes,
them to play, but we like having the opportunity for her to,
yeah.
just get a little bit more exercise.
Well, if you, I want to tell you this, and this is important for the Luna.
Hmm.
What's important for them, for you to spend as much time as you can outside with them together. And I'm trying to get what she showed or what they're worried about. So there's some anxiety between they have a little bit of anxiety, and that being outside again, and then they keep showing me how good it is for you. That you
Hmm.
can get a little, like all of us can get a little anxiety. Just it, like Mr. B, is it Bigsley?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Just how it disperses the anxiety.
Hmm.
And she just showed the cat show. It's a cat. Okay, I'm sorry. You have two females and a male.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, the two are just showing they come from the same litter.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, her more so than him because he's still trying to find his way, and they're young, right? And they're just
Hmm.
like, so there's less ad adapting issues later.
Hmm.
Get them out now with you, interacting with you, walking with you, the whole
Hmm.
family out together as one, or
Hmm.
just the cats and you, whatever,
Hmm.
out together. It can be the whole family because you have a nice family
You
energy
walk cats?
out with you in the backyard. You have
Oh,
a
yes.
Oh,
Okay.
just walking. But yes, you can do the one male. You can train him to wear a leash, sure. But I'm talking about in the backyard.
Okay. Oh, yes. We do like that a lot.
And they're clapping. They're clapping. Yes, this is what we want
Yeah.
to do. Yeah. Yeah. Because there's just so much they know it's happening out there, but they can't experience it. They really want to experience it.
Yeah.
And there's so much going on.
Hmm.
Like on the microcosm level, they're
Hmm.
like, you don't even know, mom. Like there's so many, like, stuff that you can't see that
Yeah.
they know is happening.
Hmm.
And I don't want to okay, I'm going to explain it like this and then I'll stop. It's more like if you stay, you know how you stay in too much sometimes, like I stay in too much sometimes. And then when I go out sometimes in the world, I'm like, oh, like I
Hmm.
can be almost a little insecure. You know what I mean? When you stay in
Hmm.
too much, you kind of close yourself in too much. And I was like, oh yeah, I need to go out more. Well, that's what it's going to be for them. We want to get them out so they don't start to get any of that kind of
Hmm.
insecurity. We
Hmm.
want them out in nature where they can thrive, be
Right.
cat, be big cats. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Interact with you, so you're watching them. There's no birds being attacked. They're not doing. They're all safe, right? They're safe.
Right.
Yeah, and they really want to experience peeing and pooping in the yard. I'm just telling you, they want to
That's
do it.
really funny. The adult
They
cat,
got
that's
to
all
do
she
it.
wants to do. I've never
Yeah,
seen a cat want that
yeah, they
before.
got to do it. They want to do it. The other two want to do it badly too.
That's so funny.
Yeah, they just told me this was priceless. They said this was priceless, and I'm glad. I'm glad that something so simple could
Uh-huh.
be priceless to them. Do you know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
I didn't
Yeah.
make that up. Why would I say this was right? I have no feelings about any of this. It's your life with them, but they say
Right.
that now there's are you married?
No. Mm-mm.
Oh, is there a male in the? I'm sorry. Uh,
No.
yeah, okay. Oh, it's interesting because they showed that. Was there? Give a try. Is there another person in
No, I
the
have a daughter. Come here,
a
Mr.
dog?
Bingley. Come here.
Okay. I thought they showed there's someone else in the picture. Maybe later. Okay. Anyway,
Come
maybe if you're interested later.
here.
Yeah,
Maybe
yeah.
he
That's
knows something I don't.
Yeah, yeah. I think later, if you're interested, there's options. Oh, yeah. Now the psychic's coming in. There's plenty of people who are interested in you. But anyway, yeah, you do your thing, girl.
Ooh.
Okay. Yeah, but so that's the kind of that wouldn't be necessarily what a session looked like, but we just kind of did an impromptu. But I love that it's what they wanted to share, that I'm not drilling them. It's they shared what was important to your life right now, you know, which is, they're always trying to make sure we're as present as we can. So when you're with our animals, be there with them now. Like no phones, no podcasts, no. I see the tail. There we go. That's the tail. I'm
What's
thinking.
funny was I tried to get the dog up on the chair and then the cat came.
See, this tail goes like this.
Yeah.
Look. Oh, they're classic. Classic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Typical cats. But
Yeah. No, that's just classic. I love it.
so this is really, really good information, and I can see how
Yeah.
beneficial that is to have that,
Everyday workings, right?
Mhm.
Just how do we make our energy vibe and the time that we have together more fulfilling, right?
Mhm.
You
Mhm.
only have X amount of hours in a day.
Right. And
And
because
and
we want the animals to be happy.
all we have
Um,
is this moment. Well, but they want that for you too, right? And
yeah.
really what they want, that your original question, Mary Ellen, is they want us to be um to take a breath. They
Mhm.
want us to be, happy. They want to know what makes us content. They want to know what is your heart's desire, and they
Mm.
want you to do what your heart's desire. They want you to
Yeah.
actually. That's really that's
Yeah.
what they want. And they want us to do it all while we're doing it in nature. They want us to be outside. They want us to interact with the trees, the wind,
Mhm.
um,
Mhm.
snow, the
And that goes
whispering.
back to the plants and then
Yeah,
being able to communicate with them too.
yeah,
How
yeah,
important that is.
yeah,
That's really interesting. But I was interested what you talked about in the beginning about the art, and about the creativity of that and using it as almost an intuitive tool. Um,
yeah.
because when I communicate with the animals, I try to do pictures in my head and I try to speak simply. Like when I leave, I say, I'll be back in 2 sleeps or
Yeah.
something along those lines. Is that what you would do, or how do you do it, or what do you recommend?
Well, I think that's great, first of all. And you can
Hmm.
do it any way that works for you. If 2 sleeps works for you, you could tell them 2 days. They're smart, right?
Mm,
But you don't, and I love that you're not too wordy. But the only thing I would add to that is before you go, I would kind of spend some time, and maybe they love when you write stuff down. It seems important, but I would write down all your animals' names and what's their purpose in your life. What's their
mm,
purpose in the household? And it
hmm
can't be just to give love or this or that, because every being needs a purpose, right? But really, like, it makes us really look at ourselves. Everything they do makes us look at ourselves, right?
hmm
Everything.
hmm
um so whether it's simple or complex, but what is it that each one of them does? Like, what's their purpose? And then when you leave, look, I'm going to be gone for a couple days. I need you to do this. Is, this is one of your purposes. I need you to do that. I need
hmm
you to do this. This is your, and you to do that and do them well, get along well together. And then I'm going to communicate with you each night.
hmm
And you do that on the third night. It's, third night,
hmm
how you doing, checking in, feel what they're sending you. I'll be back in 2 nights. And then you check
mm,
in the second night. I'll be back in one day or one night,
mm.
whatever. And
That's
you do
nice.
that till you come home, and I'm coming home. I'm
Hmm
coming home today. Now they already know when you're coming home, but that's not the point. The mutual respect of letting them know what's going on
hmm
is huge.
This
It-
particular cat did something that is very unusual, and I read that apparently it's not that uncommon. Is because normally when we go on our shows, I leave Friday morning and I'm home Sunday night, but not always. Sometimes I'm gone 5 days or something like that. But inevitably on Sunday night, and again, I could be home in a 2.5 hour variance, but she is sitting by the front door,
of
which is
course.
weird because the only time that I pull up out front is after the show. Normally I come in through the garage. She's always at the right door. And I thought that that was really weird.
Yeah.
Because cats are smart, but how would she, I mean, has she been sitting by the door all day? I
No,
wonder, or,
no, no. They're telepathically connected to you.
wow.
And the thing is, Mary Ellen, you're connected to them, but they
Mm,
know they're connected to you. We're
yeah,
in our
yeah.
heads and other, like, they don't get in their mind loops,
Mm-hmm.
and they know when you're coming
Mm-hmm.
before you come, and then they go to that door if they choose. Sometimes they can still know you're coming, when you're coming, and the way you're coming, whether you take a bus, that book that they first did with the guy who wrote the book about guardians coming home, they come home walking on a bus, skateboard, car. It didn't matter how they got there. The animals knew they were coming because we're
Mm,
telepathically connected. We
mm,
always have been. We haven't stopped. We just
mm.
forgot how to, or we don't slow down enough to feel it. It's all about slowing down and
Yeah,
feel.
I definitely see that. That's
Yeah,
yeah. Yeah, if
yeah.
you really want to be in tune with your animals, that's what it takes. Same being in tune with everything, with the air, the wind, like you said, the land.
Everything.
Yeah.
That's what indigenous people did. They had nothing. They didn't have AI and this and that, and they just watched the sun. And it's all
Hmm.
energy, right? It doesn't matter.
Hmm.
You just feel the energy.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
and
That's
that's what you
beautiful.
get when yeah, because we're communicating with our animals all the time. We just don't talk about it, or yeah.
One of the funniest things she did, and I'm sorry if people are bored by hearing cute pet stories. At least I'm not going to show everybody their
And
pictures.
then I have to tell you the one thing before I break communication with them they wanted me to share. But
Oh,
go ahead.
please share. No, please go ahead.
It was just nothing big except they showed they said, well, explain it like this, Nicole. um so I'm getting all these things, and sometimes they'll just throw up a visual so it's easy for me to describe the visual. Well, they said it's just like this. Those cans, you used to have a can and a string tied to it.
Hmm.
It's just like that. It's like
Wow.
makeshift can with a string, right? You don't
Uh-huh.
need the can and string, but they're like it's the same thing as a telephone. You're
Mm-hmm.
connected all the time. And they
Mm-hmm.
just thought it was funny. Your animals have a good sense of humor, but so do you. When you're
Uh-huh.
with your friends, it really comes out. And when you're calm and relaxed, your sense of humor really comes out. And they have a really good sense of humor.
That's
And
good
then
to
and
know.
they
That's
appreciate
funny.
that about you. Yeah. And
Uh-huh.
sometimes you can be sarcastic and they love that.
Oh,
Sometimes
good.
you can sometimes well, not with other people, not with them, but you can drop a one liner sometimes that like people are like, did she just, which is kind of nice. But anyway,
Yeah, they
yeah,
are
yeah,
funny.
yeah,
But I have one of those little square cameras, and you can talk to them through it. And it's motion activated, so I can see when they're so when Leota was alone before we had the kittens, and that was why I got the kittens, was to keep her company when I because I do travel so much.
right.
And uh so I called her one time when she was eating. I said her name, and then she ran to the front door, and then I felt bad. So
Yeah,
later, this was a long trip. So then later that night, I called her name again, but the light would have had to have gone on that little camera. And I saw her looking at it, because all you can see is eyes, when
yeah,
that bright light, with the cat's eyes. So then later that night, it was like 11 o'clock. I got an announce, what do you call it? An alert that there was movement in the house. And I had already gone to sleep, but I picked up the phone. I was quite nervous who would be in the house. And Leota never gets on the table ever. She knows that is not allowed. She was sitting on the table about a foot from the camera, just staring at it.
yeah.
And I don't know if she was trying to make communication or if she was trying to figure out how it worked or whatever, but I thought that was funny.
Well,
You
she
know,
told right what you were saying right away.
uh-huh, uh-huh.
And what's her name?
Leota.
Leota. It's funny, Yoda, Leota. Yeah, she told me that it was confusing when you do that. So, it's easier so telepathic is normal for them to
Yes.
communicate telepathically. It's normal. They get that. But through that machine, she did think you were close
Yes. I
because
know,
of
and
the,
I felt bad.
well, you don't have to feel bad.
Yeah.
They don't, no big deal. She's not, they don't, it's okay. Um, yeah, yeah. I mean, you don't need to feel bad. They don't want pity. They just want mutual respect. That's all they care about. But she said it was confusing. And so I think what you said after just validated that confusion. She went to the machine, the
Hmm.
camera to
Uh-huh.
find you. And so,
So funny.
yeah. So what
She's
she just said, and she wants to talk to you about me. She wants to talk to you because she's like, am I talking to, she likes this. You better watch out. She likes communicating. Uh, she she's so funny. She said, "Do I have to talk to you to talk to her?" Even though she knows we're all talking together. Uh, shoot. Uh, Let me just get that back. I'm sorry. Oh, she wants to co-create with you. So she said,
hmm
I'm not worried about that camera anymore.
hmm
'Cause you just tell her what the camera is. Just explain to her what it is. It's
hmm
just a device. I'm still where I am, but it's just a
Right.
device for me to see you and check
Right.
on much, my little love, whatever you
Right.
call it. But she'd love to co-create some fun games with you because she's fun.
She has been, especially since we got the kitten. She's like a different cat.
They're all fun, but she's a
Yeah.
fun one. She
Yeah.
want now She said you need to ask what co-creating is, because she knows you have a question mark about co-creating, but co-create some things to do with her, like create fun things. Like she shows me sliding across the floor. She'd like to slide across the floor.
Hmm.
I don't know if it would be on paper or cardboard, or
Mhm.
she would like for you to just get, always, Mary Ellen and audience, animals want you to get as low to the ground that you physically can, as long as you
Oh.
get up with them and be on the ground with them. Totally
Mhm.
different experience. But she would like you to co-create some fun with her. So
Mhm.
just grab something, get down there with her, whatever you feel while you're down there. Ask her, what do you want to do? How can
Mhm.
we co-create some fun right now? Whatever comes to mind, do it.
Mhm. That
Yeah,
is fun.
she shows temptations under cups. She's gonna throw those cups up left and right.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, put a box over her, and then have all the cups and have her go find them. Whatever
That's
you want
fun.
to do. I know you keep a tight ship house, but no box around your house. But anyway, co-create some fun games with her.
That really is a great idea, and I'm definitely going to do that. So if anybody is interested in getting a reading with you, they would go to harpspace.org.
Yeah, animal communication is Harp, HARPSPACE.org.
Okay.
Harpspace.org, yes.
Okay,
And you
very
can
good.
Google me, Nicole Harp, artist or animal communicator. I think I come up. Yeah.
Okay, all right. We're going to take another break and we'll be right back and we're going to talk more about the animals as sentient beings, which we talked a little bit about. But I do want to ask a question about some of the difficult end of life choices that we have to make. That they're definitely the hardest thing, and I'm really interested to hear your feedback on some of those. So hang out, everybody. We'll be right back.
Hello, friends. My name is David Trotter. I'm the founder and publisher of Awakened Magazine, and we are deeply honored to collaborate with Mary Ellen Popyk, the Sanctuary Network, and Spirit Fest Expos. At Awakened Magazine, we are dedicated to amplifying the voices of conscious leaders, healers, and coaches as we all help awaken our world to love. We do that through our digital magazine. We release several interviews and numerous articles every single week at awakenedmagazine.com. We have a print magazine that comes out several times a year. We have a co-authored book series called Awakened Hearts that we've had multiple bestsellers and incredible authors joining us. And of course, we have our own expo right here in Southern California every year. Hey, if you haven't already checked it out, I encourage you to watch the interview that I did with Mary Ellen Popyk. You can find it at awakenedmagazine.com. Just search Mary Ellen. It'll pop right up. You will love getting to know her and her backstory. And if you haven't already, get a free subscription to Awakened Magazine. You can find that at awakenedmagazine.com.
Florida has a great new option for healthy living. Our natural health expos were a hit last year, so 2026 brings more events around Florida. This special event offers health and wellness opportunities for people and pets. High-quality experts in well-being, healing, anti-aging, and natural living. Plus, you'll find speakers, demonstrations, and much more. All details, lists of locations, and discounted admission can be found at naturalwellnessexpo.com. Join us for Spirit Fest, coming soon to a city near you. Spirit Fest is a metaphysical, holistic, and crystal expo featuring an amazing array of vendors, speakers, authors, artists, crystals, healers, psychic readers, and more. Spirit Fest is your chance to explore and connect with others of like mind. Get all details, including our upcoming locations up and down the East Coast, also discounted admission, and more at spiritfestusa.com. Our next event is January 10th and 11th with special guests and special presentations, including psychic explorer, medium Mark Anthony, and also historical researcher, explorer, and author Jim Vieira. More details are coming to our website soon, and we look forward to seeing you at Spirit Fest in 2026. Welcome back, everybody, to the Sanctuary for Mind, Body, and Spirit. We're having a really interesting conversation about animals and communicating with animals, animals as sentient beings, and how we communicate with them. with a professional animal communicator, Nicole Harp. She's also an artist too, and we want to talk about your really great animal deck, Animal Truth Oracle deck. And but first, I wanted to talk about something that can be very painful. It's definitely the most painful part of owning pets, but inevitable is their end of life. And sometimes we have to make very hard decisions if they're sick or if they're not well or very old. And I was wondering what advice you could share for people who are going through that about them as sentient beings, about our communication, and about the choices we have to make.
Yes, that is it seems hard. I will tell you the first thing, and this is from me. Everything else I'll tell you is from the animals. But what helped me is to get clear on how I feel about death. When my mom passed from dementia, one of my spiritual awakenings, when I wrote The Colors of Consciousness, I wrote that during her time having dementia. And after all the anger part of her dementia, she came out pure consciousness, and it blew me wide open. I can only imagine that's what it's like when you come into this world, pure love and light. And that's what she was. And so, if you know that this isn't the end, that this is just a continuum, which they already know. Animals tell us trust their bodies to know how to pass. And it's 3 stages. I would say get a death doula, but it's 3 stages. And to know those stages, and you can, I don't know, I know you can get them from, I know some people who that's what they specialize in with animal communication, the end of life. And if you understand the 3 stages, then it's not freaks you out when you see things like when you're in the air, the liquid stage, and liquid's coming out of the body because it just needs to, you know what I mean? Because we put the animals say, they do not, I'm going to say this and then hang with me. They don't suffer. Now, I'm talking about our animals. That's a human construct. They do experience pain. And if I'm ouch, ouch, ouch. But if they're in pain, they're going to go by themselves and they're going to keep it to themselves. You know what I mean? But the suffering is something we project on them. It's a human construct. And they 90 whatever I have not communicated with myself an animal that said I want to be all. First of all, there's no standard end of, I'll finish that sentence in a minute, but there's no standard end of life choices across the board. Each one is different, and there are windows they can choose as they get to that point, but each one is different and it changes. I've had animals tell me, like I just communicated this weekend with one who said, uh, she's funny. At the end of the communication, I had met with this client before, and I knew that communication was a kind of a precursor to this coming, but the animal said straight out, like advanced directives, this is what I want.
Wow.
Was very clear about it. Bring me home. I want to be in your loving arms. Just was explicit about who was going to be waiting for her, who she had already taken a glimpse of the other side. She showed me her with the light, the light here, and her facing her humans. She wanted to be present. They want to be present with you while they're here. We want to rush it. Death is not something to be medicated or to be fixed or to be euthanized. It's, there are times when euthanasia, please don't think I'm not saying that there's not times for that. And I'm not talking about animals, factory farming, or where animals languish in conditions. I'm not talking about that. We're talking about our animals, end of life choices that we have to make. We have such issues as I feel like humans around death and dying. And what's crazy, Mary Ellen, is birth is unattractive. It's cutting, it's bloody, it's screaming, but yet we celebrate it, right? And end of life is beautiful and can be beautiful. And if we know what it looks like when there's a little bit of bubbles coming out of their mouth, we don't freak out and say, oh my God, they're suffering. And, here's the thing, what they told me. They said, what is the difference of you taking care of me when I'm sick, cleaning up my throw up or my poop, or when I'm a puppy or anything like that, versus when I'm older and I might, urinate or whatever. It's when you do that with resentment, which is that's what they don't want. They don't want your pity. They don't, they don't want your pity. They don't want you to be the hero. They don't want to be, they want mutual respect. So, knowing what that looks like helps you to do that, and not to be Please, 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 listeners, don't let your vets. I can't tell you how many people said it didn't feel right, and the vet pushed them
Oh, really? Wow.
into whatever because that's what they think, or
Uh-huh.
because just because medication is there doesn't mean it's always the right thing. Animals will tell you if you get a communication, they'll express to you what their choice, what their wishes are.
Uh-huh.
Most of you guardians, you don't have to necessarily meet with me. It would be great to, but you already know. They already come knowing. Bella's guardian already knew she wanted to go get her and be with her. Well, because that's what Bella wanted, and you're connected to them.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you spend all your time with them. They know you. You agreed to this before you came in. Trust yourself. And
Mm-hmm.
when you get in, you cannot make a decision, Mary Ellen. You can't make a decision when you're in a state of fear or anxiety, or when you're amped up like that. You can't.
Mm-hmm.
You
Mm-hmm.
can't make a heartfelt decision. You can't
Yeah.
feel the connection when you're like this. That's why I get so many calls end of life, because
Mhm.
Nicole, I don't trust myself right now, because it's emotional connection, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's when it is good to call an animal communicator or a deaf
Yeah.
person, have you walk through it, because I can't
Nice.
tell you how many clients have said, thank God I got the last 2 weeks with them and I didn't rush to euthanize them, or the
Mm-hmm.
last whatever, or the last whatever, because there's so much healing in that time.
Yeah.
When my mom was inside the dementia, I would never have thought, deigned to think that she wasn't there and talk about her like she wasn't there. She still was going through so much work while she had that dementia, spiritual,
Mm-hmm.
clearing up stuff. And animals and humans, they're going to get lighter, as because you have to have your vibrate, they have to raise your vibration and have to physically get out of the body. So they're
Mm-hmm.
going to get lighter. They're going to be non-communicative. They're not going to be, they're going to be in their own space. They're going to be feel like they're more away. Animals are going to treat them differently that are in the house.
Mm-hmm.
Everything changes as your vibration raises, so you can physically get out of the body. But even once the body's gone, the soul's gone, the body's there, it's still doing work.
Mm-hmm.
So there, I want to say to you, even 2 days after, to keep the body. You think about other cultures who do that, because the body
Right.
is doing its work. The
Yeah.
soul is still, yeah. And it's such a special time. I can't
Yeah.
even, my guy's 18, and
Oh,
he's
wow. Great.
one that because of the years that I've been doing communication, no animal has passed since in the last 10 years, that I will walk across that. God knows if I can do it, walk him across. There's no bridge, but whatever. People can think there's
Right.
a rainbow bridge, but whatever. That I will walk him into the next. Yeah, he and
Uh-huh.
I walk together that journey. We've been walking the journey, and we'll do it as beautifully as we can together. Because I know kind of what to expect, right? The
Mm-hmm.
3 stages. We don't need to get
Nice.
into 3 stages, but people can Google it. And yeah. And
Nice.
it's the main thing I think to take away from the question that you asked me is to be in a state of awareness where you can, intuition only happens when you're in that state of peace and calm, where you can receive, right? And not be in your head. And
Right.
fear is not what you want.
I feel like if you can be in your head, you'll just know when the time is right, when they,
Not not be in your head, be in your body, not in
that's
your
what I
head.
mean.
Yeah.
Yes, yes,
Okay.
to
Yeah.
just be in your,
Confuse them.
that
Yeah.
area of communication with them. And
Yeah.
a lot of times I feel like, unfortunately, I've dealt with it a lot because I've had a lot of animals,
Right.
um, that they might be ready, but they want you to be ready and that they're more than happy to hang out until you are.
That, and there's no guilt
Right.
unless you, this is what they say, but I totally agree with you. And unless this is what they say about guilt, unless you on purpose did something to hurt them,
Hmm.
then you need to look at yourself.
Right.
But we all know you didn't. So there's no such thing as guilt. If there's some kind of quote unquote misstep, then now you know. And
Hmm.
the next time you won't do it.
Hmm.
You'll trust yourself, and you'll
Right.
you'll you let yourself have the 2 weeks or whatever, because but it's the not knowing, it's the what if, what, and we get, and that's it. We get way ahead of ourselves. Just
Uh-huh.
have a plan B, have an appointment, or have a name of a vet that will come to your house, or you can
Yes.
always take your
Yeah.
animal there if you're free. Yeah, have a plan B, sure, but don't but let's not sit there and go, when's it gonna happen, when's it, because we miss all the things right now, right?
Right.
Like if you think about it, that's the physical space that you'll never have that kind of
Hmm.
existence again. But and the thing is, knowing that it does continue. They
Hmm.
continue to guide you from just, the animals told me the other day that it's just another place, another room, if you will, but
Hmm.
it's just not as close in the physical. And if you won't know it till you cross over and feel it, but I felt that what they've showed me, because
Mm-hmm.
they show me and I feel, and they've said, here's what it feels like, Nicole. It's just another place, but it's just not the dense. It's just not the density that it is here. So
Have you had crossed over animals come through in your communications?
I got one Tebow. She's brilliant. She's the kind of they go animal species leader and then collective, and she's kind of one of the oversouls. She's kind of the spokesperson for the dogs that have crossed, for animals that have crossed over, that kind of that I work
Mm-hmm.
with.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes she's the voice. And I try to kind of connect with them all but they'll pop in like, hey, we're here, or two or
Mm-hmm.
three of them will, because I've had 24. We've had 24 in
Wow.
our my
Wow.
spouse and I, because we rescued all
Right.
different ages, right? So yeah, but so I've had the certain ones come in, and they still help Mary Ellen in so many different ways.
Mm-hmm.
It just may not be the obvious ways that we. Some are louder than others, I should say.
I
She's a
can, yes,
terrier.
just
She's
like
more
people.
talkative. Yeah, yeah. She's spirited, and she's a terrier. So,
Um,
but
Tell
just
us
no.
about,
But
yeah,
let me say one last thing. No guilt. There's no guilt, because
good.
no guilt. They said, do you want to take your whole relationship and boil it down to one moment, one time, one
Mm,
event? We're about love and conditional love. So, don't do that. Don't take the whole relationship and make it about one decision, you know?
yeah, that's very good
As,
advice
as
too.
they say, they pay you to make the hard decisions.
And I also think about if it was a family member, what if it was a human that was potentially suffering in a way that was like that? And you don't want to lose them either, but
Okay, well, I'm
it's
going to go back to the word suffering. I mean,
okay.
is that unless there's a car accident or something like that, where they're like, obviously there's a whole gaping hole in them, and you know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
Are they really suffering, or is that stuffing that we're imposing on them? And if we continue to give drugs and we know they're at end of life, then we're just prolonging the
Right.
natural. They said, Marianne, trust that their body knows what to do. Okay.
Okay.
Now, I'm not saying this like across the board. I mean, sure, there's time when euthanasia is the right thing, but it's mostly for humans because of our perceptions on death.
Hmm.
Animals know what to do. They feel at home with it. That's beautiful. I mean, I
Hmm.
have yet to have one who said, I would like to be euthanized. Now, there's all kind that doesn't mean that ones don't.
Hmm.
But you know but again, it's not something that should be hurried or
Oh,
medicated,
right.
or
Sure.
no, I mean,
Yeah.
that's from them. None of this is from me. It's from
Hmm.
all the animals that I've communicated with.
Nice.
Not
That's
stuff I'm
beautiful.
making up. It's
Right.
my opinions about it don't matter, except for when I said to you the one thing, whatever I said, I don't know.
Okay.
But
All right. And
yeah.
now, on a lighter note, tell us about your deck, how you created it. I'm interested to see it. It's beautiful what you showed me, and we're getting a sneak peek because it's not officially published yet.
Yes, so let's just tell everyone. So an artist and animal communicator, I created this is the box and cards here, and 203-page book. I created a two-sided card, Oracle deck cards, 54 of them. The soul painting, each one of the two sides, a soul painting's on the front, and a soul painting, in case viewers don't know, is I'll just hold one card up. It's the emotional and energetic imprint of that being or that essence, whatever
Wow.
you call it. And
Hmm.
then how it started out was the animals in all these communications were giving me profound truths,
Hmm.
the way that they see and experience the world as divine beings living a physical existence. Now, this
Uh-huh.
is one of their profound truths. They have more in the book, and
Who's Chico? Tell us about Chico.
Chico. It's now this one has a mixture of domestic and wild, and I communicated with each individual animal for this, and then with the wild animals, it was each one animal, and except for wolves, I communicated with all the wolves.
Hmm.
Uh, but Chico is Debbie Mead's cat in California, but these are clients, or most of these are people that I know, or who wanted to be in the deck.
Uh-huh.
And then but it started from the animals sharing their profound truths, and they were just blowing me away with these. So that started there, and then this reads just as an oracle deck would. So an oracle deck is different from a tarot because, well, it's got the numerology, right? And it's got the image, right? The soul painting. So the soul painting in itself is one way to experience the art, because with abstract art, you have to, it's bottom up processing. You have to be out of your head and you have to bring more of yourself to complete the image. And they said a soul cannot be confined to a label or a fixed image or a name. So therefore a soul has to be abstract and colors and feelings. You have to feel into it. You can't think into it. And then they started sharing in the book. It gives you a couple exercises. It talks about animal communication, exercise to communicate with your own animals. Talks about colors. It gives you animal spreads to ways to use the cards, and it talks about art and just animals in our lives. And then each card has numerology. I don't, I'll just show you the whole book.
Okay.
Numerology, wisdom about the profound truth. So you use it just like a normal deck. So if you were to ask me a question, whatever question you would ask your oracle deck or your tarot, I kind of shuffle the cards and then I pick one, and inevitably, yeah, you want to do that?
Sure.
Okay.
I'm trying to think of a question.
Or you could just say, what's the message I need to know today?
What's the next message I need to know today? That would be something I would use oracle cards for.
Yes. And and then so I'm just going to pick one here and not look. And there's multiple ways you can do it. And I've got Olivia Gray, and one you would respond to, and the book, they help you do it too. They even interpret their own soul painting, Mary Ellen.
Wow.
So you experience the art, and then you can read the quote on the back and then look at the book. Now, her quote is, gender is fluid, is a fluid experience, not a label.
Okay.
So, yeah, so that's something, judgment, labeling, that's something that they're asking you to look at today. Yeah. And so we all need to look at that. That's not just, we all need to look at that. And then you just go to that number, which is 42. 4 and 2 is 6. You can look at numerology, or you can go to her page in the book, and Olivia Gray, who's a cat, and read her guidance on that quote, and or her interpretation of the soul painting. And I'm going to read this to you because this is something they added called pulling the card. Olivia Gray sees the aspect of you that really lacks a desire to fit into a standard or a norm, specifically for you. Trust the part of you that feels natural by being you.
I love that.
I can attest to this. If I tune into your energy, everything you've done in your life has been a little outside of the box, a little outside. You're not scared to work alone. You like to work by yourself. Sometimes I like it better. You say, sometimes you say other people get in my way. I like to be outside of the fray. I like to work outside of the fray. And you come in when you need a sense of community and when you need some compassion, and you come in to the fray when it's needed, then you always go back outside. And so I think that idea of gender is fluid. It's all fluid, right? But like being who you are, pulling the card, and just allowing yourself to be even more who you are, Mary Ellen. So those things that you wanted to try, that you're thinking about trying, that are outside the box or that are just something new, do it.
That's a great message for today.
You could read on, but I just said that. We just did that impromptu, but it's beautiful what they share. Anyway, Kickstarter.
Tell us about that.
So this won't come into fruition unless I meet my goal on Kickstarter, but Kickstarter is a crowdfunding platform that's amazing. It allows every grassroots, anybody for $50, whatever the price is. I think my decks are 50, and then there's different tiers. You can get communications, love letter, from your pet. There's different tiers. You'll be able to see those when it goes live on October 6th. It's a crowdfunding platform that allows every person to be part of some, bringing a creation to creators project to fruition. There's all different kinds of projects. So Oracle decks are a big part of Kickstarter. So there's a link that I have, and hopefully we can put it in the show notes, where it's my backer kit link, and then they can just put their email in, and I'll send them emails, and October 6th, they'll be like, we're live.
Yes.
Just go in and pledge.
We will do that for sure.
And signing up doesn't mean you've agreed to anything except following. So
Okay.
I get an idea of how many more people I need to follow and make this
Terrific.
bring to fruition. Yeah.
All right, so we'll put that in the social media post and then also your the show description and your bio page too. Excuse me. So if people can go click that, that would definitely help Nicole out for
Well,
and then where will we be able to buy your deck when it's released?
it'll help the world because this I promise you, and I don't make promises, Jessica, Mary Ellen, it'll change how you experience your own animals, yourself, and the
Mm-hmm.
natural world. I promise you, it's mind blowing, and I'm only lucky enough to be the vehicle in the translation of this.
Wow.
Um, and the next three are even going to be. I'm just so excited about. I'm humbled that
Uh-huh.
they chose me, and I feel like I did them a good. I feel like I did them justice. So,
Great work.
yeah, I if this makes its goal, then it'll be on my website. The decks will be, but really, how to get the free stuff is to do the Kickstarter. There's tons of freebies, magnets, bookmarks. I mean, that's part of Kickstarter, right? That you get to get in on the ground level, you create the momentum for everybody else, and that's what we need, really, the momentum to get this going.
I
I
was
mean, I
going to
have.
say when it hits your goal, not if. When it hits your
Oh
goal.
no, when, and then hopefully after, because yeah, the goal is just to kind of give a little bit of compensation to the artist, but yeah, and then it's going to help with the future decks. And also, one last thing, I am giving 5% to Earth Fire Institute. It's a nonprofit that helps build purchase wildlife corridors for
Nice.
natural animal migration
Uh-huh.
in near the Grand Tetons and the Yukon. I was
Ooh.
lucky enough to be at Earth Fire and communicate with those animals. So
Wow.
yeah, it's pretty
Oh,
cool.
I can't imagine. When I think of the fires, that's the first thing I think of. I recently went to New Mexico and we drove far north from Santa Fe. We wanted to hike to where there's some rock formations that we thought, it was kind of an
Yeah.
easy hike. And then we drove all the way up there and every single trail was closed because of bears. And they said they are just seeing so much of them, they're everywhere. And we were thinking about the fires. The fires were still 15 miles away, but how many animals are getting displaced because of that? That's one of the things we thought of, was perhaps that's why there had been more than. So then I wanted to see a bear. I was that my friend I was with said, "Do you?"
Yeah, or do you right? Not maybe not in that situation, but my friend lives on the West Coast in Seattle, and she said that that's the issue. All the
Mm,
bears are being just pushed out. Yeah, it's bad. Well, and just how much land that is because of urban sprawling that we are
yeah.
taking up, but the animals need. I had no idea how much land they need to migrate so they can
Uh-huh.
produce.
Yeah.
They more than we think they do, so they're not ancestrally, so it's not, so they're reproducing. But yeah, so all this is the animals are speaking, and I definitely gave them a voice. It's
Good.
their voice, their perspective. It's not me. It's all from the animals, except the numerology. That's from me, but the rest, the 90% is all from them. So
Wow, that's
yeah,
wonderful.
yeah,
I saw on CBS Sunday Morning yesterday, Stuart Copeland of the Police, the band, the Police, is doing. It's called an album. The album is called Wild Concerto, and there
yeah,
was a guy that takes a really high-powered microphone and just goes in the wild, and then can isolate, and he can literally turn the different animal sounds into mute. Like he knows right when to have them make the
right,
sound. And
beautiful.
then Stuart Copeland's a beautiful musician too. And that was when you listen to it, it's just so heartfelt. It's so wonderful. I would recommend anybody that feels like we do, about just being in concert with the animals in the land and everything, to check that out. But tell us, we've just got 2 minutes left, about your classes at the Edgar Casey Center.
So I do animal communication and soul painting. So I teach soul painting several times, 4 times a year. The one in December, I just taught one, and that was for grief and loss. And
Mm,
then I teach soul painting in December for self-acceptance. So we'll focus on that for that particular soul painting. But there's so much healing in that. It's not about coming in as an artist and being making your best piece ever. It's not about that for a show. Even though I have a degree from VCU, it's different. It's all about just opening up, healing, kind of somatic stuff, feeling it, letting the colors, come, which colors are gonna, what comes out, and you. It's just like this. You never know what's going to come out, and then
mm,
there's a writing that people write as well with it, some kind of, whether it comes out in the stream of conscious or poetic form. And then I have a webinar coming up, $25 at the ARE. It's September 16th. It's all about communication, and there's 3 exercises. So I do that, and I do like evenings where I have audience and I communicate messages from the other side for their animals.
Nice.
So yeah.
So that would be on your website, how to register. Okay. And then I'm sure on the Edgar Casey site, edgarcasey.org, it would be on there too. You are harpspace.org.
Yes.
And this has been such a great conversation. And I've learned so much about animals and different ways to communicate with them and how they communicate with us too. And the lessons that they teach us are so important. And I'm not sure that that's something that we ever really considered, is how much we do learn from them. So thank you for being that messenger for that. So, all right. Well, I would love to have you on again. I think there's so many other interesting things we could get into with all of these. And Kickstarter, everybody look for the link and support Nicole in this endeavor so that we can have more decks. So,
yes. Yeah,
all right.
Wisdom, right? More animal wisdom.
Yeah, exactly.
Animal
exactly.
intelligence. Yeah.
I love it. All right. Well, thank you very much for your time, for joining us here, and for everybody that's listening, and we'll see you again. Bye-bye. Thank you for spending this time with me here on the Sanctuary Network. Tune in every Wednesday at 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern on the Transformation Network as we gather to share stories, wisdom, and practices that remind us of something essential. Sanctuary isn't just a place you go. It's a space you create in your heart, your home, and your daily life. I hope today's conversation sparked something in you, a sense of belonging, a new idea, or simply a reminder that you are not alone on this journey. If this touched you, please share it with someone who could use a little light. Together, we can grow this circle of sanctuary and inspire a ripple of healing around the world. And don't forget, the journey continues at spiritfestusa.com, thesanctuarynetwork.com, and naturalwellnessexpo.com. And of course, every week right here on Transformation Network. Until next time, may you be well, may you be inspired, and may you live fully in sanctuary.